ACO interview process. And tonight's guest, I have Irenee. And Irenee and I actually met, I guess, through Instagram. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I think did you come across my account or did I come across you? I can't even remember now.
I think I came across yours. You were doing that advent calendar thing with the KeyForge decks.
Yes, yes. And that's how, and yeah, and I saw your account. I was super intrigued by it and the fact that you're into KeyForge as well as many other games. And now, upon our pre-show conversation, I now know why. But before we dive into that, we'll do the standard. What I like to do is I like our guests to just let us know about the deck that you're going to be playing today, so they get a bit of insight of why you chose this and why you like it. So, why don't you just let everyone know why you want to play this deck tonight and kind of what it means to you?
So this is one of my favorite like tournament decks, and I think by playing it in tournaments, I realize it's maybe not quite as high level as I thought it was when I was just playing with my friends. But it has this great crystal hive in Mars, so I can double all of my mana. It has like multiple Zizix the Minis, so I can get some card advantage there if I'm lucky enough to keep them on the board long enough. I'm told it has a pretty strong like Brobnar faction, and
Hmm.
so it's always fun to like be a little controlling that way. And then Dis is kind of like a nice support, so it's a pretty like steady, although slightly more mid-range deck. But yeah, I really like it, and especially like the Mars action going on.
Yeah, that does look really sweet. I personally really like your disc with the Arise and the Schulers and the Succubus and the Terrors, and that's more what I'm kind of drawn to within your deck is the disc part. But I tend to lean towards disc in a lot of things anyways. So
It's
that's
really
that's really
important.
cool.
It's really important for my Ember control. Yeah, so that is a good point. I shouldn't forget that. Yeah.
And I can already tell that you have a magic background just from some of the lingo you have using here, which is fantastic. I mean, I feel like most of us do have magic background because I mean it is kind of like the original OG card game out there, isn't
Hmm.
it?
Yeah.
So the deck that I'm going to be running tonight is called Retroid, the Phony of Pitchforks, and I actually bought this deck to round off a collection because I didn't have anything that had the full ZYX suite, which is the ZYX Researcher, Director of ZYX, and the Project ZYX, which allows you to play cards in your archive and as if it belonged to any house or the active house. And you also have the all the ZYX archive things. So it seems really fun in that sense. It doesn't have a ton of Ember control, but it has a lot of fun components that can make it work a little bit. I mean, it does have the lash, which helps. So that's why I chose this. I've never gotten a chance to try this deck out yet. And I'm a big fan of the whole ZYX theme that was present in Age of Ascension. So yeah, so why don't we get things started and let's dive into you a bit more.
Sure. Sure. Is that my cue to start the game?
Yeah, you can hit start the game now.
All right. Um,
But before we go any further, Irene, I need to know what are you sipping on tonight? Because this is Crucible and Cognac, where the adult beverage is part of the experience.
that would be Talisker. It's a single malt Scotch from the Isle of Skye, the only one.
Oh,
It's
nice.
nice and peaty and peppery.
Ooh, yeah. I like the aromas of peat scotches, but I'm not so much of a Scotch person as more of a bourbon myself.
That's fair.
But I definitely do like the peaty aspect. And
Yeah.
tonight I'm actually sipping on something I've never had before. My nephew brought me back um, cacique, which is the Costa Rican national liquor, I guess. And I made myself. It's kind of like in Canada we have something called a Caesar. I'm sure you're familiar with that because you spent some time in Canada.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's basically like clamato with some hot sauce, and I put some limes in here and cacique. And I actually haven't even taken a sip yet, so I have no idea what this tastes like. So this is going to be a on recording first sip here. I'll make it very audible. Hmm. It's very nice, very subtle,
Okay.
refreshing beverage. Okay, so um, tell us a bit about yourself. Like, what is like your kind of background within the gaming world, so to speak?
So I started working in cards shops like 5 years ago. I'm currently working at my third one. I'm now living in Boston, but I used to live in Ottawa in Canada. So I'm a
Oh,
Canadian
nice.
just like you.
Nice.
Yeah. And I started Magic the Gathering when I was in college. And I liked it. And then we had like a regular board game night every week. And somehow that sort of passion became my job. And then I realized that I actually really liked working at magic stores and board game stores, and I wanted to like take that further. And now I'm like a manager at the one in Boston, and yeah, so just seeing where things will take me with that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's I think a lot of people wish they could have the passion to do that more because I think we all I don't know if it's do you feel like the whole idea of like gaming and board gaming has become like a lot more like trendy and I guess more accepted in a vaster audience in the past probably 5 years, I would say, than it was before?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's more and more people joining like games from all different angles. Like
Oh,
RPGs have gotten huge. Uh, in Boston, party games are really popular. I'm personally into
mm,
like longer games myself, but they're they're more accessible, I think, because they're like faster
right.
um,
That makes sense.
and smaller and cheaper. I've been putting like boxes of KeyForge in with like the two-player games, like the two-player starter kits. I've been like sneaking them in with the board games just to be like, hey, this is a two-player game too. Sometimes it works.
Oh, nice.
Um,
You got to get people into KeyForge. It's I mean, I think it's pretty impressive that it became the third highest selling game for trading card games, or I guess card games. In the first year it was out, only behind Magic and Pokemon. I think that is pretty impressive.
that's really impressive. I did not know that. That's really fun.
Yeah. All right. So why don't we get the game started here? You choose if you want to keep your hand or not,
All right.
because you are going first.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna mulligan. Okay. All right, there's my spider.
Oh wow. Just gonna start things off that way, huh?
Yeah, it's a race.
Okay, I like it. So what got you into KeyForge? Like what was your drawing point? Like tell the story of how you became a player of the game of KeyForge.
So I heard the whole Richard Garfield thing, and then I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And it's supposed to be like this game that's like old school magic, and it's um, it sort of reminds you of when you like first learned, and there's no like net decking and stuff like that. So I looked into it, and like you get these cool random names for your deck, and that was really fun. And then I was working at a store that like really supported it. They're like, let's see where this goes. Like it's a cool game. And so I was working like the nights where people played it. So I ended up like sort of like judging for it for a while, and that was super fun. Although the rules in the beginning were like a little scary until they brought out at least the like second edition of the rule book. Um,
Yeah, that's true. Did you have issues at your store? Because I think you said you were a judge. You were judging and stuff, right?
yeah, yeah. Um, it was it was difficult, but I think like no one was like angry. You know, we just like did the best we could.
Yeah, I had someone, one of our tournament organizers, he said like basically either the players, if they could come to an agreement of what the ruling was, he accepted that, and if they couldn't, they would flip a coin because what else is there to do at that point and to allow the game to move forward and it's impartial. So I thought it was kind of funny until the rules clarification came out.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Um, yeah, I think sometimes like all people really need from a judge is like someone to give them a ruling that doesn't have to do with them, like that's impartial.
Hmm.
Sometimes that's all they really need. Um, oh, okay. Didn't
Wow,
necessarily mean to play that.
that's awesome.
That's right.
It worked out very well
Cool.
because I get the ember back, and there goes my ember.
Well, there you go. All right, your turn.
Okay, yikes! I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Okay. So the next question I have for you is, what was the first strategy card game you played?
Oh, I think that was probably Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, that was mine too.
Yeah. Um, I've also played like Dominion back around the same time.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's like a drafting game.
Oh, okay.
It's more in like the board game category than anything.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
It's kind of like Ascension, if you've played that one.
I have heard of it. I haven't played it. Oddly enough, my card gaming background goes Magic, Pokemon, KeyForge. I literally just took like that mainstream route all the way here, and I started playing Magic when I was like 12 or 13 years old, back when Tempest block came out, Stronghold, Tempest, Exodus, Urza Saga, like that whole time frame was for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so oh, this is interesting. Oh no. I really don't like the way you started here. Okay, how do I want to do this?
He's just an innocent little alien. You don't have to worry about him.
Very innocent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the problem is, even if I do worry about him, I don't think it matters because the way you've managed to set everything up here. Oh crap! I did that backwards. C'est la vie. Uh, let's go this way.
One of the other things I think I really liked with KeyForge was like the type of people who've come out to play it, which I found both in Canada and in Boston. Um, like they tend to just be like maybe a bit like older. Um,
I've noticed that too.
yeah, and they're like nice. Like
Yes.
someone bought coffee and donuts for us when we had our Prime Championship. Just they were
Oh,
like,
nice.
"This is gonna be really long. Like we'll buy it. We don't care about being like paid back. We didn't ask anyone. We're just like, we think you guys are all gonna be, hungry." And yeah.
I have to say I've noticed that as well. It's I feel like a lot of people who come to KeyForge came from a previous gaming background where there might have been a toxic environment and they don't want to be a part of that again. So as a result, they end up just being more likely to just, just chill and be in a better environment because we have the exact same experience that you pretty much just described, and I find that always very, very interesting.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
goodness.
And it makes me want to play the game more and support the game more. Um,
Hmm.
when I can like support a community like that.
Yeah, I
That makes
agree.
sense. Yeah.
No, 100%. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So the next question I have for you is what is your favorite card to play in KeyForge?
Hmm.
And this can be like one that you find fun, and then you can also have one that you find competitive unless you feel like you just have a fun one you like to play. However you want to like view that.
Okay. So I love Wild Wormhole. I noticed you have one in your deck.
I do, yes.
It just seems like a good like little bit of ember advantage there. Like you get the ember for it, and then you get the card, which might also have ember. Um, and then it's just like so nice and random. Like you can't even get mad if you get some. Like your opponent can't get mad if you get something good, and you can't get mad if you get something bad. And
Yeah,
um,
it's true. Very true.
yeah, And I also
Yeah.
like Sizzix, but he is really frustrating because I can never keep him out, as you
Yeah,
just
it can
showed.
get out of control. Oh, you mean the Megamouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, Megamouth's awesome. So you like the mechanic of how you can basically use something from another house with it and stuff, right? Is that
Um,
what appeals to you about that card? Because you use a creature from another house.
so you get to archive the creature, but that
Oh, you're
means
thinking
like,
of Zizix, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you don't have to like necessarily even have like Mars cards in your hand. If you have enough on the board, you can keep playing them, but you still get to draw cards because you're still archiving creatures,
Hmm.
and that's really nice. But yeah, he does usually get killed because people know he's good. Maybe
Yeah, that's true.
disproportionately, even possibly. So that's
And
the.
is Mars also your favorite house, or do you have another house you like more?
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I think this was a favorite for a long time. Um,
What it
Mars,
was it? What is it that you liked about this?
just the like that it sort of messed everything up. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna mess up everybody's day. I might mess up my own stuff. I might mess up your stuff. It was just like really like powerful, but in a difficult to manage kind of way, you know.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. That's cool. Yeah, I like
But you
that.
like this too, don't you?
I do, yes. Dis has not only grown on me, but with each set, I find the evolution of it quite interesting, and so that's like been a big thing for me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and do you find like I don't know if how big your collection is, but are you faced with a moment where you basically like seem to always open like this one house always shows up in all the decks you have? Do you have that feeling ever?
Um, I haven't gotten too unlucky with that. I do remember in the first set, one of my friends bought like a box or two and got like only Mars,
Yeah,
and
and
that
it
and
wasn't the
that was really
best
bad.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, like in a whole box was like just straight up only the same thing?
I think it was like 10 of 12 all had Mars or something.
Oh, wow.
It might have been 12. I don't remember now, but it was a
It
lot,
was
and he was kind of
disproportionate,
sad.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Mars is one of those polarizing houses where you either really like Mars or you're not a huge fan of it.
Yeah, yeah. I liked it in the beginning until I realized it wasn't cool to like it. We were like, oh, it's just the weakest house. Like, don't even look at that. Um, but now I have this really fun Mars deck that is from the first set. So there you go.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it can be good.
Oh, and now I regret discarding both my cards. Sad day.
Phew.
Okay. Oh, wow. I really don't like what I have to do right now. But say la vie. Okay. I hope you don't get mad at me for doing this.
Okay, I'll understand.
What just happened there? Oh, no, it doesn't count. Lame. So those that didn't count as fighting damage, so I didn't get my war chest from that.
Oh,
Because basically, Ether Spider didn't die. So yeah, fun times. That's okay.
oh,
It put in work nonetheless that was necessary. Although I should have maybe done that slightly differently.
okay. That's all right. I think
Yeah.
I need all the advantages I can get. I will take it.
Do you have like a really memorable like KeyForge play that happened for you?
Hmm. There was the most recent tournament I played. Um, I was playing with my Ether Spider, and the guy got it up to like 24 Ember on it or something.
Holy crap.
Uh, yeah, and I was like, "What's he doing? Why doesn't he just kill it?" And I sort of realized he was just waiting, and I was like, okay, maybe I can race him. But I just like couldn't get there. I just didn't get the draws or didn't play it in the right order or something, and I couldn't race him. And then eventually he just like killed it and like won by like forging
Key after
three
key after
turns in a
key.
row or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I was at the vault tour and I saw this like little like 8-year-old kid or 12-year-old kid or something. Like he was like, the spider doesn't matter. You can kill it later. And so he learned that strat and used it on me.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that is a good one. It's just kind of saving it for later, unless you have like a too much to protect or something like that that gives it all back. But yeah, you're right. That is an interesting theory kind of with sometimes capture, like it being stored is like you're just saving it for me for later when I actually can utilize it.
Yeah, and it meant all of my shoelers weren't stealing any ember, uh,
Hmm.
stuff like that too. So that kind of hurt.
Have you been playing Worlds Collide at all, really, or just been sticking with your OG decks?
I've played a few Worlds Collide. We had a sealed tournament, and I got one of the anomalies, the Red
Oh, nice.
Baron. Yeah,
Oh, that's the one I really want. I'm super jealous of you. That's amazing.
it's been really funny because everyone's just like making sure to forge that one last. And it's like,
Yeah.
darn, you guys all know.
I I literally like I naturally like I'm a soccer fan and the team I support is Chelsea, so I generally forge the red key last because all their rivals are the color red is their team colors and blue is their color. So it was like an already natural habit for me, but like I absolutely made sure of it after after that card was kind of revealed. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that is funny. You were prepared.
Yes. This is an interesting game, I must say.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the next question I have is like I notice you like on your Instagram and stuff, you're pretty I feel like you're quite a community oriented person. Would you say that's pretty like a fair assessment?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, what made you like be drawn to that sort of aspect, like to really develop a community? Is it just because you know a game store survives like that, or is there some other aspect of a community that really kind of appealed to you?
That's a great question. I think it's kind of in my nature. I think I just like to sort of like build communities where I am. But I think it's also really important for a game store. I also like I've been like thinking of making my own like KeyForge based Instagram, which is
Oh,
I think one
nice.
of the reasons we started talking. And like I just think it's important for people to like know that like there are other people who play the game, like having a game store and having events at it, etc. Like adds legitimacy to the game, and like if you buy it, you know you'll be able to play it. You'll have a place to go. Um, but I just think like games like KeyForge that aren't Magic, just like people need to know that there are people out there playing them and that it's safe to do so, and that it's not going to like it's not about to be canceled. It's not um like it's not this super niche thing that no one thinks about. Um
So you think people have like a fear of getting into a game because it may not exist in like a year or something like that? Is that what you mean?
yeah, like you don't want to like invest in it in the time to learn it or invest in um yeah, either the time to learn it or just like the money just to buy it. If you don't
Right.
think it's going to be around or if you don't think anyone will play it with you. So like, you know, card shops are very good for that for like D&D because there's D&D nights, and you can be like, we have D&D every Wednesday. Come play with us.
Hmm.
And then people are like, cool, I'll get into that. Like, it's like,
I actually just got into D&D like 2 weeks ago. I've never played before, not because of a lack of not wanting to. It's more like I didn't have a community and people to play with. And then at my work, someone actually my future brother-in-law, he is a dungeon master, and so he kind of got he was doing it, and then some people from work were like, "Yeah, you got to come, man. He's like amazing." And so my fiance, who's his sister, we went together and we did the first time we ever played. We were up until like 4 in the morning playing. So we had this really difficult horde of orcs and an orc boss to fight, but um, the dungeon master did this really amazing thing where he plays theme music when we get into like skirmishes and get into battles, and then he switches up the music as it becomes to like the boss, and it just like really sets the tone for the experience, which is really sweet. And I gotta say, I absolutely love it, and we're playing again next week. I'm super excited for it.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Oh my goodness, you're racing a lot faster than me right now, so I need to start cycling real quick. What do I have that can bite me? Ooh, nothing. That could work out really well. Okay. Here we go. Time for one of your favorite cards. Wild
Okay.
Wormhole to the rescue. What creature is this? Ogo Pogo. Okay. Cool. I'm good with that. And oh, what do I want to play? Let's go with that one. So yeah, so my next question that I have is like what type of I don't know, I guess this could apply to you in more than just a KeyForge sense, but let's go KeyForge sense and onwards. So, what type of player do you consider yourself to be? Like, would you think yourself as like a control player, like a combo player, like a rush go real fast player? Like, what type of like Keyforge player do you kind of draw yourself into?
Hmm. Um, hmm. I think I I like the idea of having like a real creature heavy deck, where I can just like go in with creatures, just like kind of rush them, get all the ember and done before anyone like knows what happened. I don't know if I have any decks that actually do that as well as I
That go
think
like
they
really
do.
fast?
Yeah, but I think I like the idea of that. Um, there was a player who came into our store uh, in Canada, and he bought this like really cheap, like $30 deck from us because we had like decks that were opened. And we were all like, "Why do you want this random deck?" And he's like, "Oh, because it has like way more creatures than decks usually have." And I just thought it was like a really cool concept, and that's kind of stuck with me.
Mm.
Um,
So,
yeah,
because the Worlds Collide decks kind of fall into that category a lot, is they seem to be more often than not heavily uh, laid with creatures. Like, do you like the idea
like
of
the new
Roman
new
dinosaurs?
ones.
Yeah,
Oh man, those dinosaurs are powerful.
yeah, they are
Yeah, they're
pretty
pretty
sweet.
cool.
I'm personally more partial to Star Alliance. I just like the way that it plays, but yeah, you can't argue with the power of the dinos.
Yeah. Also, Star Alliance is like Star Trek, so like,
Hmm.
how can how can you go wrong? That's pretty fun.
Yeah, it really is. I'm starting to see your Zizix thing now and what you're talking about. I definitely let that one survive too long, and now it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the dinosaurs in the new set can get like that too. They just get really big, and then you're like, how do I kill this?
Yeah, pretty much. I literally don't know what to do right now. Oh crap! I see some of things happening that I don't like. Oh dear.
He is only one guy though, so
You keep saying that, and yet it's I'm still getting bit in the butt here.
yeah.
Okay, so I think I have to go dis because my
Uh-oh.
options are pretty short here. Like my Ember control is almost non-existent, but I can lash you for a turn,
Ugh.
and then I can also get rid of this Zizix finally. Just in your
Oh
archives, though,
no.
not gone forever.
Okay.
Um,
But he's gonna come back a lot weaker.
yeah, it was getting out of hand. There's definitely, I had a bit of a faux pas there for sure.
I had my fun. That was much longer than
You
I
did.
usually get. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm in a really bad position here where you're just gonna do something like probably hysteria and make me feel very sad. I sense that coming.
Hmm.
You're like, oh, that is a good idea.
Like, do I have that? Do I have that?
All right, I'm gonna do something, I guess, counterintuitive to normal. Let's give it a shot. Oh, actually, that was a
Okay.
great idea. I feel better about my decision now. Oh, and also very bad about my decision. Shucks. Oh, that's sweet. Never mind. I made a good decision.
Okay. Oh.
Oh my goodness. And you're just archiving this whole time? I was
Yep.
not paying attention to you doing that. So, yikes.
It's a good card. I like him.
Oh my goodness. That hurt. I knew that was coming too. I totally felt that coming.
Yeah. That's the Brobnar side of this.
Yeah.
They're much more controlling than people initially give them credit for.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think
That
that
is
The problem with the Brobner is almost like, I like how you said they're much more controlling, but I feel like that's kind of changed as time has gone on with the sets.
interesting.
Yeah. Okay. I finally get to forge, and I gotta somehow catch up to you real fast. How do I want to do this? Oh my goodness. This is a bad situation. Okay, I see what I need to do. Okay, so my question for you next is since you're like part of a game store, this is a question I actually ask quite frequently, but I would really like your perspective as someone who runs a game store
Yeah.
because you're going to be seeing this from maybe a different perspective than someone who's a player and like coming out every week and doing this. So if someone was a new player coming to the store, like what is advice you would give to them? Like they're getting into KeyForge, like what is the advice you would give to someone under that?
I would say like definitely come play. Like don't take it too seriously. Like I think KeyForge is a game that's like it's got like a somewhat low barrier to entry because you can just like you don't have to worry about building the deck before you can play it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but there probably will be people there who will have, their decks with three of that untamed card that gives them amber every time you play a new
The
creature.
hunting witch. Yeah, the
Yeah,
hunting witch is pretty deadly.
yeah, and there will be people there who will just have a strictly better deck than you if you're playing Archon, and you just have to like be ready for that and be okay with it, and just come and learn how to play and get better, and like take their advice. I think I've been like struggling with this myself, where like in my like local friend group, like I can beat people all the time, but when I go and play at the store, like I'm definitely on the bottom tier. Um,
Right.
so I'm like trying to figure out how to get better. Um, but I think it's just literally like you just have to grind it. You just have to like come every week, and eventually you will be that person who is better. You will be that person who's good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
I totally see that.
yeah.
Oof, I do not feel good right now. I feel like this game is very, very quickly getting out of hand. You're just going way faster.
Fingers crossed. hmm.
Have you seen any of this stuff about the new set being released, Mass Mutation?
I think I've seen like a little bit on like Instagram, possibly from you. But I
Possibly.
haven't seen a ton about it.
No, there hasn't been too much out, but they're taking out Brobnar in the next one and bringing back Sanctum.
Oh gosh. Wow.
Hmm. Oh
Sanctum
my
is
goodness.
quite a strong house. So that's going to be like a powerful set potentially.
I really don't like what you just did. Oh wow.
Hmm.
Oh no.
I did think about whether I was going to play three fates because that was going to wipe out my
Yeah.
Brobnar guy.
Huh. So that's the lowest. Oh no, it's not. Perfect. Excellent. Six. How many sixes do I have? And then fives. Okay. Sorry, I'm just doing some crafty thinking here.
Okay.
All right, let me see what I can do here. So let's go logos. Let's use signal fire. But first, we're going to get rid of a lot of these creatures here. Your Toluses are really scary. Like double
Thanks.
Tolus, that's pretty gross. I had to get rid of those.
That's okay. I
Um,
understand. The
yeah, I
great
gotta
thing
try
is when
and
they get destroyed, I don't lose the ember because they died. So it makes me feel better. I'm always living in fear that my Stoluses will actually backfire on me, but it's been okay so far.
you know what? That is honestly a solid fear to have. But when you have two, I feel like it works. It can work really well because especially if you have a big board, it can be like, okay, I need to deal with this, but at the same time, I don't want to.
Right.
That's good. And now for some fighting.
Uh-oh.
I can fight with my Brobnar dudes because I got rid of some things here. Did I? What happened to my bingo or my bingo bang bang? Oh, I totally forgot about your banner of battle. That hosed me nicely. That card's really good because it doesn't like I just forget about it and just start not paying attention properly.
Yeah, it kind of like yeah, it messes up everything where it would be kind of equal, and then it's like not.
Yes,
Yeah, it's surprisingly good.
I would agree. Okay, there we go. Cleaned up your board a little bit because it was scary. Actually, it still is scary, but hey, what can you do?
Oh man, yeah, that was quite a sweep.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of fighting, and I think that's maybe why I've been on the back foot a little bit because I haven't been trying to burst, but because you've been just getting on board so heavy that it's just been having to like constantly. You've been on the offensive, and I've just been responding to you, which is never an ideal situation.
Yeah, that's fair. Although we're tied up now.
Yeah, it's getting a little closer. Okay. So unfortunately, so one of my favorite plays is ZYX Researcher with Igor because when you discard cards, you can't do it on TCO, but then you can organize how you put them in your discard and then play ZYX to archive it, which is kind of cool.
Mm. Yeah, I've
Oh,
never seen
nice.
the whole like ZYX thing before.
Yeah, it's really fun. Oh, and of course, I put the one I didn't want on top of my discard there. So we'll do this differently. We'll play the Researcher, and we'll get my deck in my archives. Oh, I don't want that at all. And then I will Reap to use it. And now for the shenanigans, that is Wild Wormhole.
All right.
So somehow I basically got what just happened? Misery exploit for nothing. Cool. Okay, but I can go into check here. There we go.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
How the tides have turned.
And then I'll use Quantum Finger Trap to move Gub. There we go. So now my charrette is protected, so you can't just kill it. Yeah, that was a lucky turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good
And I
turn.
I actually have both my Coward's Ends in my hand, which would be the one thing that could really hose me. So I decided to like literally if I wild wormholed and got one of my Coward's Ends, it would kill my charrette and you instantly win basically because I couldn't take you off check if I did that. So
Right.
I was able to do that. That's the pitfalls of wild wormhole, which I have experienced so many times. So
Yeah,
what else
that would be bad.
about KeyForge, like do you or were you really drawn to? Like there's so many aspects to oh no.
Just silently poltergeisting.
Oh no. I don't even know what I do here. I think you just took this. Oh, that was great. What's oh my goodness. Yeah, you pretty much just win right now.
Do I?
How do I yeah, you do. I need to get something in my archives, which I can't do. So I'm pretty sure that takes the game right there. I can burst real high, but that's about it. How do you also feel about like the like I don't know in your scene, but in our scene we have a really inclusive community and it's very welcoming. Do you have the same experience where you're at?
Yeah, I'd say people are super welcoming. I think they're just like super happy to have like anyone come out and play the game. Um, it's been really like it's been weird because I've been trying to like regrow the community since I moved to Boston.
Was there
And
like not a non-existent community? And by the way, congrats on winning.
oh,
That was a very slick poltergeist at the end there, I must say.
thank you. It was definitely a Hail Mary poltergeist. We were doing like tournaments like once a month, and then I came in and I was like, guys, like, why don't we have more KeyForge going on? And they were like, what's KeyForge? Like, yeah, we have that here.
So
And
you would say you're personally responsible for helping grow the game in your local community at your store.
I'm certainly trying to. Yeah.
Did you find
It's
the leader decks helped?
a
The
leader
leaderboard
deck.
decks? The leaderboard decks? Did you
I
guys get
don't.
those?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so you definitely need to talk to your store about ordering them. So they have leaderboard kits. And what it is, it's like the store, once you get one, your store basically keeps track every month of the top players based on tournaments that are played. And so at the
Okay.
end of the month, the top four players get a deck that has an alternate art for a card.
Oh my god,
So
are you
there's
serious?
yeah, there's four. So you get 12 decks. The first month will be an alternate art for Hawk, so it guarantees there's a Shadow House. The second month is an alternate art for Axiom of Grisk, which is in Saurian, so it guarantees there's Saurian House. And then the third month is an alternate art for Unsuspecting Prey, which guarantees there's an Untamed House in the deck. So it's all tracked through the app once you report and once you have a leaderboard kit. So it's definitely a really like it like really increased attendance because every week people wanted to make sure they were vying for that spot on the leaderboard.
Oh wow, that sounds really cool.
It's really cool. So they're in May they're going to release the next three, but until then they basically have the first one you can reorder again. So I would definitely look into that because it really helped our community and strengthened everything. So I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I should look into that. That's really cool. And then that way we don't have to like try and invent our own like coffee card loyalty system or something. We can just like
Yeah,
yeah, they've
that will work
already
on
done it.
its own. Yeah, and they have also they're coming with prizing, which is they're creating like figures that can represent a key, which is really
Oh,
cool, like vinyl figures, like after of KeyForge characters,
wow.
which I have to say is like the perfect segue for my final question every night, and that is if you could have any character in KeyForge be your spirit animal, who would it be? And
Oh my
it doesn't have to
goodness.
be like a creature. It can actually be like, I've had people even say like a character that exists within a card that's like an action or something like that. So what would your KeyForge spirit animal be?
Ooh, that's a fun one. Um, it's hard.
For me, I'll
Uh,
tell you mine. So
okay,
mine is
okay.
piranha monkeys.
Piranha monkeys.
They're my KeyForge spirit animal because I won a store championship almost exclusively because of my piranha monkeys. So I hold them in very high esteem, and they just always come through for me. So that's why they're my spirit animal, because they've always been there for me, and they're little feisty guys who just kind of come on the ground and have an instant effect of putting two damage on everyone, including your own guys, which is fair. But yeah, they've just been there in a clutch for me, so they're in my heart and my spirit animal, my KeyForge spirit animal. Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I could be the like one of the like Brobnar giants, maybe. They're kind of cool.
Which one's your favorite?
Oh, I don't know. I think I think I like that guy who comes in and just like the -3 to everything guy, and he's really
The
beefy.
Earthshaker, or
Yeah.
is that it?
Although Heavy the Huge is pretty like badass looking too. So maybe one of
Yeah,
those
I
guys.
okay. Have the huge or Earthshaker, one of those. Is it Earthshaker that comes in? Yeah, destroy each creature with power 3 or lower. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
pretty great.
he's pretty badass looking with all his gilded armor and everything, and that battle axe or battle hammer, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I could go for
I could
that.
dig that. Are
Yeah.
you big into Brobnar? Is that one of your you really like the flavor of Brobnar, I feel, from the vibe I've been getting while you've been talking about him?
Apparently. I didn't realize this. But yeah.
That's sweet, yeah. So yeah, Brobnar, unfortunately, I don't know if you've been party to hearing people's complaints, but they've kind of taken a hit in the latest set, and so people aren't exactly sad to see them be rotated out right now. But a lot of people are excited that they're maybe go back to the drawing board and come back bigger and better than ever.
That sounds fine to me. Like breaks are a good thing sometimes, you know?
Yeah,
It's not
that's
working.
very true.
Yeah, just like with Mars. Mars might come back someday and be a little more synergized.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So, where's the best way if people want to reach out to you? Where can they find you on the interwebs?
So I have my main Instagram account, which is Irenee White. I'm also starting a new KeyForge Instagram, which is called KeenForge. KEEN
KeenForge. Oh, nice.
underscore forge. Yeah. Because I'm a bit of a KeyForge keener. Um,
Nice, I like it. And then on here, your keen eye on here, right?
yeah.
Keen underscore eye. Perfect. So if you see keen eye on TCO, which you're more of an IRL player though, aren't you?
Yeah. I play a bit on the Crucible online, so you might see me sometimes. But yeah, I play more at the store, just trying to like make be there, get things like growing with the community.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so is your Instagram up right now?
Yeah. Yeah, they're both up.
Perfect. So it's KeenForge. So guys, go everyone out there, go follow KeenForge if you're on Instagram, and I don't think I am, so I'll make sure I do that. And yeah, I just really want to thank you for coming on the show. It was so great to hear the perspective from someone who's in a store and fostering the game and works at a store. That's such a great and unique aspect to get to hear that perspective. So thank you so much.
No problem. It was really fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and you had that clutch play at the end there. I gotta say, which is such a KeyForge thing to do. So kudos to that.
Yeah, it sure is. Thank you so much.
And oh yeah, my pleasure. And as always, everyone, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Have a good one.